Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Breakpoint with Coach Paige. This is Doug Hess, along with Chris Wood, and head coach of the South Vermilion Wildcats, Coach Paige. Coach, another interesting start to the season, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of started last night.
Yeah.
Really.
It was good. It was a long night, but it was fantastic at the same time because we were playing volleyball. So it was good.
Yeah.
We played in a scrimmage, Terre Haute South. We played 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't start till 7 p.m., so that was kind of late, but, whatever. We played 3 games last night. We played KZ, Illinois, Terre Haute North, and West Vigo. We went 2-1, and we beat KZ in 2 sets, West Vigo in 2 sets, and lost to Terre Haute North in 2 sets. But all in all, it was playing Terre Haute North is a tough team, and they're strong. They're big. They got good hitters, and definitely a learning experience. We took a lot away from it, where we need to work, where I think the girls really, they seen where they needed to work on their skills. They definitely seen, how good they potentially could get if they work on their skills from other players. It was really great because it was super laid back. So we would work, like me and the other coaches, we would work together, and I'd be like, hey, can you have your servers serve to these girls so they can work on passing, or can we do this? And if you needed to just walk out on the court and tell the girls to adjust, or there wasn't like timeouts or anything, which it was nice because it was still competitive, but it was laid back and it was fun. It wasn't anything like.
So as kind of a coach, it sounds like it was a double-edged sword, meaning that you were able to take a few things away from it, but you don't want to read too much into it either.
Correct. Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
Because we're way early in the season.
Yeah. No, I 100%. But I also think that going 2-1 in a scrimmage this early is good. For sure.
Now, probably West Vigo you're going to see, but KZ is not a team that you're going to see,
right?
Most likely.
And we'll play I think we play Terre Haute North in regular season as well.
Okay.
So we'll see both of them. But KZ, Illinois, there was a lot of Illinois teams there actually.
And you were telling us a little bit off the air, the way this was set up was there was basically volleyball being played all day, and teams were coming in on a rotating schedule, and so you just happened to be in this set with KZ, West Vigo, and Terre Haute North.
Yes, and then we got to watch other schools. Terre Haute South was there, Greencastle, Robinson, Illinois, Marshall. Watch a lot of other girls play as well, which is also some of those teams were also on our schedule. So kind of seeing the potential of who will be playing already, like early in the season,
right.
Who's good, things like that. So it was really good to see all those players. There was 4 courts set up, and there was games going on all 4 of them all at the same time. So it was a lot of volleyball all at once, which of course is like heaven to me. So it was good. It was good.
Well, I would say that West Vigo and KZ are both schools of comparable size to South Vermilion. And Terre Haute North is obviously much larger.
Yes.
They have a lot bigger variety of girls to select for a team. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to lose to a bigger school, and it's a great thing to lose to win to teams of comparable size. That's got to be a good thing. I mean, as you said, we won't see KZ again. We will see West Vigo, likely.
Yeah, and the Terre Haute North, they have a new coach this year as well. A lot of those girls that go to Terre Haute North, I actually have coached in the past in travel volleyball, so that was also cool to see. A lot of those schools, I coach a lot of those girls, so that was cool to see them as well and see how they're adjusting to high school ball and instead of travel ball, because it is different. It really, really is. And just catching up with them and seeing the parents and stuff was awesome. But it was. I really loved the girls. Definitely hung with Terre Haute North. They competed really, really well. We just got some work to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Coach, what are a couple takeaways, positive, negative, that you saw? And again, let's don't read too much into this because it's way early in the season. But just from a coach's standpoint, what was some positives and what was some we really need to work on a couple things?
We couldn't serve the ball. I don't really know what. And the girls' defense, we do serve in practice, but we don't practice serving nearly as much as we probably should. But also in high school, you should be expected to be able to get the ball over the net anyways.
Right.
But that's probably what mostly killed us was our serves.
Okay.
Then we got wore out. I mean, we played 3 games back to back, 3 hours straight of volleyball, and then every time we played 3 sets. So, I mean, 3 hours straight and 3 sets, that's a lot. The girls got tired and it was getting late, but, I mean, other than that, they stayed every single point after every single point, whether they won the point, they lost the point, they came in the middle, congratulated each other, like, hey, we got the next one. They encouraged each other on and off the court. The bench encouraged each other on and off of the court. We had some really good blocks. We had some really good swings. The hustle was there. They were fast on their feet. We have a few girls that are in the gym that are learning a new position that were there, and they played that new position, and they kicked butt. So that was awesome because, of course, they're a nervous wreck. I mean, it's their first time ever doing it. And, obviously that first set, they have the jitters, and you're like, okay, this is where you need to adjust. You need to transition here, do this. And they fixed it, and they were on fire the rest of the night. So, I mean, honestly, I don't really have, besides our serving, there wasn't really anything that
stood out to
that wasn't really something that we've not worked on this year that, besides that, I would say.
And just to clarify, you said earlier, went 2-0, 2-0, 0-2. You had 2 official sets.
Yes.
But then you played a third that was kind of even less formal.
Yes. We played travel ball rules because COA put it on. So we played 2 out of 3, I guess you could say, instead of 3 out of 5, like high school rules. So, yeah.
So even after you won the 2, they said, hey, let's play a third just for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. And you mentioned COA again. We talked about them briefly. Let's look a little more into COA. COA stands for Crossroads of America. It is a travel ball, club ball.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about COA and your experience with them.
That's where I started playing travel ball whenever I started in the 3rd grade. That was the first camps I did. That's where everything started for me, and that's from the 3rd grade to my senior year in high school. Traveled the country, met so many girls from there, even that I'm friends with still nowadays. Met some girls that have played D1 ball. Some of the girls now they went on to D1 volleyball. They graduated. They're playing cross seas. They're playing, one of the girls is actually playing in the Olympics that I played with. So that's really, really cool. She went to Purdue University, of course, because that's my favorite. But they have the private lessons. They still do the camps now. They also, which is super cool, last year they just got the boys league. So now COA has a boys league. They only started with 18, it's like 16, 17, 18 years old, but they're hoping to get more because actually, like, boys volleyball
has been sanctioned by the IHSAA for high school. So and that's going to make a huge improvement as well, I think.
The St. Mary's in Terre Haute has a boys volleyball team. I think that might be the only one around here right now.
Yeah, the only other ones I know, I think Ball State has a men's volleyball program, and then Purdue Fort Wayne is another one at the collegiate level. So it's very unusual for us here in the state of Indiana. I think it's more on the East Coast that you see a lot more men's volleyball, and obviously a lot of the D1 schools have that as well.
Sanctioned boys volleyball, sanctioned girls wrestling.
Yep.
That's going to be that's going to put Indiana on the map to give some kids some experiences that they haven't had the opportunity to in the past.
That's true. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, and COA's constantly growing. I mean, like I said, they have the boys league now, and then this year was the first year. I mean, they've placed high, top 10, top 5 in nationals, and this year we won nationals. Our 15s won nationals.
I was going to say 15, yeah.
Yeah, and then our 14s, they've placed 3rd, and so it's obviously Indiana is a talented volleyball sport or state.
Right.
So and it's just crazy that it's just right here in Terre Haute, that we're putting our name on the map with the travel ball, and
it's in our backyard.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
So, Coach, you said this coming week things are going to be a little bit different in practice this week because COA is coming in.
Mm-hmm.
You have asked some coaches to kind of run practice, if you will, for lack of a better word, which allows you and your assistant to kind of sit in the stands and look at it from a different angle.
Yes. So this next 2 weeks is going to be grind time. We have tryouts the last week of July, but it's more so the next 2 weeks are going to be grind time. So Tuesday we have COA coming in. They're going to run practice for me and my assistant Becky. It's really good for us to be able to just sit back and actually watch the girls practice and instead of running practice, so we can pay more attention. But also it's good for us to learn new drills, other ways people coach, kind of take takeaways from them. And it's also really important for the girls to, get lessons from someone else or see how they coach, or everyone coaches differently. So these girls and these people coming in to help me and help us and run this practice for us, I think that the girls are going to get a lot out of it. They don't think they will, or they probably don't realize it until afterwards.
Well, and I've said this on other podcasts as well, and I'm a big believer of this. Sometimes as a coach, as a parent, you can say things and the player may or may not register with it. It goes in one ear and out the other.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But just a different voice saying the same thing, or maybe slightly different. And they go, oh, well, I wish Coach would have told me that.
Yeah.
Like, I've only been telling you that for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But, who's listening, right?
Yeah.
Well, that also reinforces to the girls,
right?
Boy, this coach knows what she's talking about because COA taught me that too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be good. And I really, like I said, I don't think the girls realize that it's going to be good until after the facts of the matter. But yeah, so that's going to be Tuesday. Super pumped about that. Wednesday, we're going to get in the weight room some. I truly believe in volleyball. Strength training is so important because you got to get your muscles strong to hit the ball hard. You got to be able to jump, so you got to get your vertical. You got to get strong. You just have to keep your strength up, and it also helps with just your momentum. And so we're going to get some weight time. We didn't last week because we just got so into practice, and I didn't want to get out of the gym because we were just so into it and things were just so good. So I was just like, we'll just do 2 days next week. So Wednesday, Thursday, we'll be in the weight room some, but then we'll also be in the gym working on drills, things like that, bettering our skills.
And how the game has changed because, there is more of an emphasis on conditioning, more on getting in the weight room to build up the muscles, etc. Where, say, 20 years ago when we were playing a little bit more active, it wasn't as important as it is now. And I think that's just because of the research and some of the success others have had by changing the game and allowing the game to constantly evolve.
Well, and even whenever I played, there was never really any talk about, getting in the weight room and getting your calf strong and, getting your arm muscle strong. And I think that too, a lot of it is, I'm tall, so it was easier for me to hit the ball on the net, and I'm strong. But some of these girls are not the tallest hitter or tallest people on the team, but they are the best hitters because their verticals are so good and they're strong because they put in the time to put in the weight room and they get their vertical and they get the strength, and they're gonna be better hitters than some of the girls, that should be better for obvious reasons for the tallness, but sometimes that's not how it works. So I like to really and the girls love it. They love being in the weight room. We did it one day, I think it was not last week or the week before, and they're like, can we do that every practice? I'm like, no, but I understand. I'm glad that you love it. But no, I'm really excited I'm excited that they love it too, because sometimes it's like pulling teeth to get people to go in the weight room. So
well, and like you said, if you're up there on the net and you're blocking and you got your hands up, somebody could overpower you very easily with that ball.
Absolutely.
And just by having your hands up, it may slow it down, but it could get caught in the net. It could go right through your hands. So being strong and being aggressive is definitely part of the game.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And especially like even the people that play the back row. So the liberos and my DS is this defensive specialist. Being in the weight room is just as important for them as it is the front row girls because it keeps their momentum up. I mean, it really helps them not get so wore out in the game.
Right.
And once again, they don't realize it until later on. They're like, oh man, that pays off. Or, I mean, nobody wants to condition, right? But, and they, that you beg your coach, can we not please? But it's part of it.
And when you got a run going on there, and it's going back and forth, and it's 3 and over, or 2 and over, or whatever, that wears you out. And you're bent over, you're up, you're down, you're diving, you're getting back up, and it may be 30 seconds, it may be 45, it may be a minute, but that wears you out over time. And you're like, it's half court, it's just a little box that you're in, and well, it's a little bit more intense than that.
Well, because you also, you have to pay attention about what's going on, but you also have to be ready for your next move. So you're constantly moving. And just like you said, you pass the ball or you fling yourself on the ground, by the time you're getting back up off the ground, the ball's already coming back over the net.
Right.
So you have to be ready and to go get the next ball or get ready for the next swing, cover. So that 30 seconds might seem like 2 minutes to some girls.
Yes.
And if you're not in shape, it seems like 2 hours. So it's super important for them to, like I said, stay in shape, condition, get in the weight room. And it just makes it better that they like it instead of fighting about it.
Absolutely. But you can say that almost in anything, right, in life. It's better to accept that than fighting in that process.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So that's on Tuesday with COA. Are they going to be there the whole week, or is that just a one-day?
It'll just be a one day. I wanted to do one day for the summer pre-tryouts, and then after tryouts, I plan to have them come in some during the season as well. I'm also trying to get some collegiate players or even college coaches come in and help run. Thankfully, playing travel ball and coaching, I know a lot of people, so it's nice, and they're willing to help. And like I said, it's not only just good for the girls, but it's good for me and Coach Becky to see these, especially these college coaches, these college players. They can from a different aspect. They can talk about their college experience and talk to the girls about this is why we work on these things. Some of these drills that you don't want to do, you're like, this is not going to help me, but it will.
Right, yes.
So I plan to, more during the season. But
right now it's just a one-time before the season officially kicks off.
Correct, yeah.
In terms of that. That's great.
It sounds like you had also this past week, you had a visitor. The middle school coach, the middle school volleyball coach came over and kind of checked things out, and you did some meetings and sessions with her.
Yeah.
Megan Miller, the new 7th and 8th grade coach for South Vermilion Middle School. Talk a little bit about that.
I'm excited. I'm glad that they have a coach. She came over to observe. This is her first year coaching volleyball. So she messaged me and she was like, do you care if I come by? I'm like, absolutely not. Come on by. Text me anytime you want. Call me. I don't care. So she came and observed practice with us on Thursday, I believe it was. And I just showed her a lot of drills to do for basics because obviously, she's getting girls in junior high that have never touched a volleyball before. Right. So they're not going to have any idea. So we broke down a lot of drills. We went step by step, talked to her about different positions, talked to her about here's what you probably should focus more on in junior high, and here's what you don't really want to focus on, but don't overwhelm yourself. Right. Going into a volleyball season and having to plan practice 5 days a week for somebody that, doesn't eat, breathe, sleep volleyball is tough.
Sure.
So I printed off a bunch of stuff for her, gave it to her. But I think she actually plans to come on Tuesday as well to observe the COA practice. And a few days next week, we're going to go over there a few times and help her out as well. And I even told her, I said, if she's not, she wants to do some open gyms before school starts if she can, but even if, I told her, I said, if you want your girls to come here, so be it. It is, we'll make room. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think that I think she has a daughter that's going to play.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And then her other daughter's in high school now. So, but I'm I'm glad that she came to us and is like, instead of just like winging it.
Right. Right.
And I'm always more like open to that. Like, of course, I'll help you with.
Yeah. Well, she's a very experienced softball coach. She's coached a number of years in softball, so she's not an absolute novice.
Yeah.
In coaching, she said, Chris, I don't know volleyball as well as I know my daughter likes it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what she said. She goes, I'm softball. We're a softball family. And I said, and I get that. I mean, so this is probably like a foreign language to you, but here's how I'll break it down in layman's terms the best I can. And she sat through 2 hours of it, and I was like, I hope I don't make you bored. But no, it was good.
Well, she's a bright lady. She's going to pick it up. I'm
Good.
sure she's going to have some learning curves along the way to overcome, but I'm looking forward to seeing how they do.
I really do think, too, that, she's going to have a really solid group of 8th graders this year as well, so I think that that's going to help her try to, run practices and get familiar with things, because she'll have the help of them.
And I know everybody likes to win, obviously, but I'm a firm believer, especially in the middle school, it's more about getting the basics down. It's more about getting things right.
Yeah.
Good habits. And yes, we would love to see somebody go 20-0, and that's all great. But nobody's winning a state title in junior high.
No.
Yeah.
You may win a tournament here and there, and that's great. It's more about loving the game, getting the fundamentals, and making sure you want to play at that next level. And I hope nobody misunderstands what I'm saying. It'd be great if somebody goes 20-0.
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Sure.
But does that necessarily translate into high school? I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
So let's don't get caught up in the wins and losses early.
Yeah.
At the junior high level, and maybe even freshman JV level as well.
Right. I coached 21 years in both Little League and middle school football in both Vermilion and Vigo counties. My philosophy always at that level was I want to teach solid fundamentals, and I want you to fall in love with the game.
Right.
If you have good fundamentals and you love the game enough that you're going to come back next year and the year after the year after. The guys that are much more knowledgeable in football and being better coaches than I am can teach you
At the next level.
Yeah. But if you have a good foundation of basic fundamentals and you love the game, you've won them. You've won them over.
Absolutely.
And you have to, and you also have to understand that, and if you love the game, going back to the basics, you have to do it. The basic fundamentals, even us. JV and varsity level, we go back to the basics. You have to. You have to just go back, break it down for a little bit just to, you don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose your skills. So these seniors, they're like, why do we have to do these passing drills off the wall? Well, because you have to break down your basics, because once you start standing when you're passing the ball, you're going to realize why we do this.
Right.
So it's just, but you're just like you said, if they love the game, then they'll understand.
Well, I think it's also important when it comes to players that they understand why we are doing things. We're not doing a drill to kill 15 minutes in practice.
Yeah.
We're doing this drill because it's going to help with passing, or it's going to help us with whatever that drill is designed to do. And then when they can see it in action, I think that's when it helps clicks with athletes. And no different than in our jobs as adults, right? Sometimes you're like, why in the world are we doing this? And then somebody just puts it in perspective. I really think it helps open up everybody's eyes.
Well, that's like on Thursday, we did, we broke it out and we did like setters, they went separate, passers, our DSs, they went separate, and then like our front row, so our middle blockers, our hitters. We separated, we had setters setting balls on the wall, doing specific drills, passers doing specific drills, and then I was using the net and using the wall. And just after we did wall jumps, and of course girls hate those. I make them jump up in the air with their hands in the air, touching the brick wall for a minute straight. And yes, it is tiring, but then they came out on that court and every single one of them got a block. And I was like, this is why we do these things, because you're bettering yourself, you're jumping off of 2 feet. This is why. And I know it sucks, but here's why.
Well, you said for a minute, you could have a rally going on for exactly 1 minute, and it goes right to your point. Boom, you've got to jump up, down, jump up, having those blocks. And again, I think it's, making sure somebody understands the big picture of everything. So,
Doug, it is sneaking up on fall. We are in the fall volleyball season. And before you know it, it'll be time to take some senior pictures. If you haven't booked a photographer yet, you need to consider contacting Beth Cox Photography, LLC. Beth specializes in photography of high school seniors, as well as family photos and the use of natural lighting in all her photos. While taking senior pictures, Beth specializes in bringing out the students' unique personalities and capturing it in her art. Her portfolio is a testament to her ability to deliver amazing senior portraits. And when it comes to family photography, it's just not another pose and click photographer. Instead, Beth takes on the role as director, providing gentle prompts and guidance to create genuine, heartfelt moments that showcase the love and connection between your family members. And her candid shots are a testament to her ability to capture your family's authentic dynamics. Beth is now taking bookings in Vermilion, Vigo, and Park counties and the surrounding areas. You can find her contact information as well as examples of her portfolio on her Facebook page or at BethCoxPhotography.com. Time slots are already starting to fill up. Contact Beth at Beth Cox Photography, LLC, before she's all booked. Thanks, Beth, for sponsoring us. It's probably overstated. We can't do this without you, but literally this podcast would not exist without sponsors like Beth. Thank you so much for stepping up and helping us sponsor Breakpoint with Coach Paige.
Absolutely. Coach, I know we're getting close here on time. We're going to wrap it up here, but next week is a normal practice for you, if you will, or I shouldn't say practice, it's more open gym, right, in terms of that. And then the week of July 29th, that's really when the rubber's going to meet the road for you.
Yeah.
And there comes that dreaded period called tryout.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I don't even like to say it my own self, but that's what it is. I mean.
Absolutely. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of anxiety with the players, with you. Right now you're telling us you're going to be looking at taking 20 players this season.
Yeah.
And that's for varsity and JV together. So you'll have tryouts that week. And then on Thursday, August the 1st by 8 p.m., that's where you're going to have the list out and have the final roster set. Is that right?
Yeah. So last week of July was when we're technically allowed to stage tryouts. And those 3 days are, like I said, we're going to grind those 3 days. These girls are really going to need to prove that they want it. And 7 p.m. on Thursday, we will end practice. And by 8 p.m., the teams will be posted on the door on who's JV and varsity. I have a lot of anxiety because there's a lot. There's a lot of girls and there's a lot of talent. And but they just got to prove to me that they want it. They got to show me that they want it. So we're getting there.
Unfortunately, it's a necessary evil to make those cuts. When you have as many people that want to participate as you have right now, if you accepted everyone, you wouldn't be able to give them the time that they deserved.
Absolutely, yeah.
In order to be a productive winning team. So although it's unfortunate that you do have to cut people, it's one of those things in life that not everybody makes the team, and that's sad. But for those that don't, hopefully they take that as a positive and work hard and come back next year and try again.
Well, and like I said in last episode, I mean, part of me coaching is, I'm trying to make these girls better humans. And, things aren't handed to them. Like, you have to work your butt off. And, yeah, I don't want to cut you, but if you're not going to work your butt off, then sorry. And it's not a lesson I want to teach, but it's something that has to be taught, I guess.
Yeah.
So not only is the girls' anxiety getting higher as we're getting closer to tryouts, so is mine.
Sure.
But I think as a coach that's a good thing because you have a lot of thinking to do. You want to make the right decisions, and obviously you don't want to upset anyone, but you also have to do what's best. And I hope the girls can take it away from that.
Sure. Well, I know I don't envy you at all with that. I know that's not a fun situation to be in, but unfortunately, that's something that, like you said, needs to be done for the team. Coach, thanks for coming back on with us for this episode. Chris, any parting words before we wrap things up?
I don't think so. Thanks, Coach Paige, for hanging out with us. It's a lot of fun. I continue to learn something on this show myself. As we've talked before, I'm not really a volleyball person historically, but it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're getting closer to grind time, and then we'll have a lot more to talk about when season starts, and we can get these teams established. And first official practice is going to be August 5th with our teams. And then I think the first day of school is August 6th. So we're getting into it. We're almost there. We just got to get the tryouts. And then...
It's hard to believe the season's school and a season is starting to sneak up on us around the corner here.
I know. Time flies by when you're having fun, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on, and we look forward to talking to you the rest of the season.
Yeah, you too.
Go Wildcats.